Well, coming up next, Boca Raton magician and illusionist Gary Goodman, who's been captivating audiences in South Florida and internationally for 28 years. And in an interview taped earlier, I asked Gary how he got involved in that very unique profession.
Excuse me, David, just a moment. I have to do this. It's one of the prerequisites of doing magic.
Right, $100 bill. That sure beats a quarter. You know?
Inflation, you know.
It used to be a quarter. You know.
Nice to meet you. Great being on the show.
Listen, the business show, The Business of Magicians.
Yes.
How did you ever become one?
Well, when I was around 7 or 8 years old, I started getting fascinated with magic. I actually saw the Harry Houdini movie starring Tony Curtis.
Right.
So that, you know, started something. Then I found out my mother and father were in show business. My mother was a singer and dancer. My father was an orchestra leader. I grew up near the Niagara Falls, Ontario Harry Houdini Museum. It was a bike ride away from my home in Niagara Falls, New York. So all those elements came together, and I just
and you got hooked.
I got hooked
at an early age.
At a very early age. Actually, by the age of 12, I was getting paid to do shows.
You're a pro at 12.
They say when you get paid, you're a pro.
Absolutely. Well, you went to school down at FAU. What did you study there?
Psychology. My major was in psychology.
Right. Well, that fits being a magician,
It does. It really helps. I mean, I do so many different kinds of magic shows, and I'm always interacting with people, so psychology was a great background.
And so you live in Boca, right?
I've been in Boca 28 years. I came to Boca in 1980 to go to FAU, fell in love with the city, and I've never left, and I've been doing magic full-time ever since.
I'll be darned. Well, when you say you do magic full-time, what kind of illusions and tricks do you do, Gary?
Well, there's 3 categories of magic. There's close-up magic, excuse me, which I do at a lot of cocktail parties. Pulling $100 bills out of it. It's a very popular trick these days. And then there's stage magic, which is the kind of magic where you, like an after-dinner show, everybody can all see because it's big.
Right.
And then there's the grand illusions with the lady assistants making people float in the air, and that's for the bigger productions, you know, for the bigger parties. And
can you make this station disappear?
You know, there's a long list ahead of you for that request. I don't know why, but...
no, we don't want this station.
No. I don't want it to disappear either.
Well, okay, how do you usually get work? Is it through an agent, or how do you, or you're networking, or how do you do that?
It's all of the above, plus being that I've been here 28 years, I've built a client base, and so often I will get invited back to some of the same venues, the same individuals who are having parties, only because I keep a record of what I do, so when I come back I bring a whole new show.
Oh, that's great.
But I do count on the agents. There's some wonderful agents in South Florida, and there's wonderful party planners, and they call me. They get calls from clients who want a grand illusion show, or maybe they just want somebody like myself strolling at the party doing the close-up magic. And they call me, and so it's a combination of the agents and the networking also. Well,
how's business? That's what it's kind of, you know, we got a little, we're a little rocky spot here in South Florida with business. How's your business doing?
Well, I find that people are waiting to the last minute often to now book entertainment at their parties. But I am getting lots of calls. I mean, fortunately, again, 28 years in the area. I have, and another thing, David, I also do shows for children.
Oh, so that's great.
I have that whole market. I do so many fundraisers at schools. That's a hot thing that I started years ago. I call it the Family Fun Night. Schools call me. They sell tickets to my show, and they make a lot of money. So it's a win-win situation. They're able to pay me for my performance fee. They're also able to make money for whatever cause they're promoting. And it's a great thing at all the elementary schools. I've been to over 200 schools. Some of them had me back year after year. I've had some schools 15 years consecutively using my show, and it's a different show every year.
Well, what is your normal fee for all this? I'm sure it's reasonable.
This is the way I like to put it. A variety of shows for a variety of budgets.
I got you.
So people go to my website, they fill out a form, and then someone from the office sends them a proposal with a whole list of prices and ideas for shows. And so
that's great.
Usually it's affordable.
Well, at the end of this interview, we'll put up your website and phone number.
Thank you.
So if anybody's interested in getting a top-flight magician.
Well,
listen, one of the really interesting things that your wife is a magician. How did that happen?
Well, my wife actually was a pharmaceutical representative when I married her, and then I asked her if she wouldn't mind helping me in the show. I already had a female assistant, but my wife Jamie was a natural at doing the shows, and for 7 years she actually left her job as the pharmaceutical rep and became a full-time magician's assistant, and she did all the illusions, floating in the
air and all that.
Yeah, everything. Getting in the basket with all the swords.
Right.
And
do you cut her in half?
Cut her in half. In fact, she taught the new girls in my show how to do the illusions and all. And I was doing the sawing the lady in half illusion. We had an accident.
Oh, geez.
She's in the hospital as we speak. But you can visit her. She's in rooms 102 and 103. So.
Gotcha. Hey, listen, speaking of the song, the thing and a half, you know, on television they have a series of shows with magicians seeing, portraying behind the scenes how they do the tricks. How do you feel about that?
I love it. That's where I learn a lot of my new secrets. You know, it really hasn't hurt the business because people are still fascinated with magic, and there are some people that watch and they want to learn, but because they're not in the industry, it goes in one ear and out the other. And
that's true.
And most of the principles that are revealed are actually older principles. Believe it or not, the man that's revealing some of these secrets, he actually does magic full time. So, you know, who can figure, right?
Did you ever run across David Copperfield in your travels?
Wonderful person. I've met him several times. In fact, I even got invited to his home once.
Wow.
He only invites people that have a serious interest in the history of magic. He has one of the largest collections of magic going back hundreds and hundreds of years, even 1,000 years. And I got invited with my wife, Jamie, and we toured his home. He told us to meet him there at 12 midnight, and it was a 3-hour tour. Very nice individual.
Did they have magicians back in thousands of years
Yes,
ago?
it goes back. They find drawings in caves of actual magic, close-up magic that was done back then. And so it goes back to the beginning of time. There was always somebody doing something to entertain. And
you adopted a Chinese child.
Yes.
Tell me, what was the story behind that?
Well,
that's unusual.
That was a very magical experience. And again, I have to give credit to my wife, Jamie. She saw a TV special, The Lost Girls of China, and she was so inspired. She said, let's do it. And next thing I know, we were in China for close to 3 weeks, and we have this beautiful little girl named Sunny. And we have a sister for our biological son, Gable.
Is he a magician?
And he is a magician. He's 11 years old, and he beat me by getting paid at the age of 12.
Wow.
He got a paying job, and he did some magic, and, you know, so he's on his way.
Listen, we're running out of time, but Gary Goodman, God bless you.
Oh, thank you.
And you and your wife, Jamie, and Sonny, and your son.
Gable. Yes.
Gable, and hope we'll see you again.
Thank you, David. It was a pleasure.
Okay. And stay with us. We'll return right after this.